But like with my friends, I wouldn't be like, bro, I'm fucking romantic with you at home.
I'm gonna buy you a cake.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking, let's start this thing, fool. Hello, I'm Sam.
And I'm Amelia.
Welcome back to Ask Joe podcast where we aim to build a better mindset for better relationships.
Yeah, and this week on relationships, we're talking about romance.
Relationships?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I wanted to ask, what do you define as being romantic? Sir, please proceed.
I feel in my definition, romance is
non-existent.
That is correct. No, I believe it's an act of service. Being thoughtful, doing things, providing things. That's, to me, yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think romance is definitely something different from what I thought it was back in the days. There is still some remains of what I had perceptions of romance was back in the days, but now I think it's just being able to share laughter together, doing things together, and then, yeah, I think a bit of that acts of service when you see someone doing something for you when you didn't ask for it, and it's just like that nice gesture, just being thoughtful. But let's turn to Google to see what they have defined romance.
King of all definitions, eh?
King Google. All right, so they define being romantic is about expressing love and dedication in a way that's intentional, unmistakable, and deeply affectionate. I don't know about unmistakable, but intentional definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I was a little confused as to Google's definition, but okay.
Sorry, sir, we don't agree with unmistakable, but deeply affectionate because definitely you want to show your love for someone. And I think intentional is a really good definition because you chose to do these things, like these gestures or whatever you're doing to show romance, you chose to do it. It's not just like, oh, it happened or we spontaneously went to blah, 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 like a date or something like that. It's something that you chose to do. So in your eyes, what's your ideal of someone being romantic?
Well, like exactly what I was saying. It's the act of giving and the thoughtfulness is doing things with intent. Whether it's just like, if you're tired and I do something for you, whether it's cleaning clothes or
what
whatever
do I
it is.
do for you to make you feel like I'm being romantic for you?
I feel like to me, that's what I believe.
So if I cleaned your undies and socks?
I'd be like, yeah, you love me.
Gross.
Enjoy touching my undies, all the poo stains
That's
and poo-poo stains.
disgusting. Yeah, well, my thoughts of being romantic. Acts of service definitely has its place, but I think it's also doing some things that are outside of your norm in a way, like even as simple as bringing me up a coffee that you made in the morning when you were making your coffee, because that's not something that happens often. Like something that's just a little out of your normal routine, but you can tell that you took the time to do it. Or say you went out to meet a friend and on the way back you picked up a cookie. It's like you've thought of me. That's my way of being romantic. My thoughts of receiving romance. Why are you laughing? Because you know you never do shit like that, huh?
No, I think it's funny because we sound pretty basic. I'm sure, yeah, other people would
Well, that's
disagree.
why I wanted to say in this podcast or this episode is that I feel like romance is very subjective, right? Because there are some people who may really love grand gestures and that's how they are, which is fine. And I think it's good that we both have similar levels of romance in terms of the gesture doesn't have to be big. It could be just really small. But yeah, like the nutshell of it to me is just seeing that you did something that isn't part of your normal routine, but I can see that you thought of me and then you did something, just that extra little touch and be like, hey, I thought of you.
You've got to have those moments where you add that in randomly, sporadically, whatever it is.
So listen up, eh? Still waiting for that cookie.
So I think, I think it is ideal to have this moment where we either, we do something or something sporadic happens.
Mm.
Do you think it's ideal that we have these things?
Like, are you asking, do you think it's imperative that we need romance in a relationship?
Yes.
I think so, because if you don't, then what's the difference with that and just every other friendship that you have, right?
Mm.
Even like we'll touch on that later, but even in friendships, sometimes it's nice to just do something a little extra for someone. But I just think if you're in a romantic relationship where you're sharing something like intimate and you're sharing something that's so special, like a bond between two people, if you just kind of forget about it, do your day to day routine, living in the same house, then what is it outside of just you guys living in the same house, right? How does the other person know if you're thinking of them or you love them or something like that outside of just verbally saying it?
Yeah. Like, to some extent, you got to walk the talk. Yes.
And for us, words of affirmation isn't one of the highest things for me. So there is a correlation between the five love languages and showing your romantic gestures. And I think that's why it's subjective, because every individual might have different percentages or ratings between the five love languages. So the physical touch, words of affirmation, what was it, acts of service, quality time, why you're
Quality
looking at
time.
me,
And then last
and
one.
gifts.
Yeah.
So everyone has different levels of how they prefer or receive these love languages. And I think that ties into the romance. So for us, or for me anyway, words of affirmation is one of the highest. And I feel like words of affirmation has to come through with acts of service, in my opinion. Because if you're just there saying these things, but I haven't seen the action, to me, I'm like, it doesn't clarify or it doesn't justify what you've just said.
He doesn't full stop it. That's what you're saying.
It doesn't have the
Yeah.
punctuation.
Doesn't jab the right words.
But do you agree though?
Yeah, 100%. I think words of affirmation is a small minority, if you want to put it in that way.
Well,
But
that's like relative to you though.
yeah, relative to me, but you've got to obviously follow through with actually actioning what your words of affirmations are.
Yeah. And for me, even though we have taken the love language test, and I know that both of ours are quality time,
Yeah.
but like to me, I don't see it as how it could just be the one. Like I know it's saying like, 25% quality time, 30% blah, blah. And I think even though one is higher than the other, for me, my understanding is it needs to be not an equal balance, but that it should, like when someone else is showing some sort of love language towards you, like you trying to be romantic for me, you have to show different things from different aspects of the love language. Like it can't just be skewed towards one. That's what I've realized in the most recent years. So even though we discovered that quality time is our highest one, I think it was quite a high percentage. It was probably like 70%
70
or
something, yeah.
something like that. But what I've realized, because we did try like just spend quality time where it's just us two together, but it still doesn't feel fulfilling to me. So I feel like it needs to be mixed up sometimes with a bit of acts of service or sometimes with a bit of a gift, like just light gifts. Or sometimes it might be words of affirmation, but quality time is the main one, but just mixed in with some other ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I do get it. And it is true because, well, for me anyway, you can't just do one full thing. As an example, like you said, like the quality of the time. Like, sure, you can provide the quality of time, but that's only just one thing.
Yeah, and if you keep doing only that, it also gets repetitive.
Yeah, and I think you got to chop and change it up a little bit.
Yeah, because even in relationship, we've been together for 11 years now, and just doing things over and over again, obviously you need to freshen things up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So you got to do other things to sort of change it up a little bit. It just makes it feel different.
Because, like, for example, if it's quality time and you guys sit there at a table, have a long chat, 2 hours every single day, and you do that every single day, every day of the year, do you think you would get bored of it? Not bored of it, but like it kind of just gets same.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a small minority that says no.
Yeah. So I just feel like maybe when you're doing that quality time while you're talking, there is some physical touch, like hugging or like holding hands, or but like even while you're doing quality time, you're having throwing in some words of affirmation while you're talking to each other. So that's just giving you an example of how you can mix them.
Being romantic is also being thoughtful in some regard.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It just sounds like how you're showing that you're being thoughtful, but I wanted to see if it is exactly that. Like, is it one for one, or is it just showing gestures of being thoughtful? What are your thoughts?
Well, I kind of feel like being thoughtful is more so,
One aspect?
yeah, you're more so doing things to help the other person, whether it be, like you said, if you're busy and I make you a coffee, that's being thoughtful. Or you're helping me clean my like undies, for example, that's being thoughtful. It's like those small things of whether it's words of affirmation or actions. I feel like those two is kind of more relatable to being thoughtful.
I feel like it does correlate quite significantly, only because to be able to be romantic, you have to think of the other person. So you can't be like, oh, I love eating chocolate ice cream. I'm going to get her a chocolate ice cream. You have to understand what she likes or the other person likes and being thoughtful in that way.
Yeah.
So that's why I think being romantic does correlate quite closely with being thoughtful. And even if you do acts of service, and say you help me clean the toilet or something where I don't really care too much about the toilet, then it doesn't mean too much to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're being thoughtful, you're thinking that you're doing something for me, but it's not something that I really take much notice too much into, then I may be like, oh, you don't really show me much of how you care for me, but really in the back end you have in your own way, but you haven't thought about things that I've thought is my definition.
It's what you value truly. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So I think it does have a big correlation.
Which it does, right? Because it's all about what tickles your fancy.
Yeah, and it goes back into the intentions, I think.
Yeah.
But let's hone it back. So we watch a lot of K-dramas. I watch a lot of rom-coms and movies and all that. Do you think they're realistic?
Fuck
like
no.
Rom-coms?
No way.
Any aspects of it at all?
So with K-dramas, because we probably watch K-dramas the most, as much as we love K-dramas, there's a true unrealistic component to the dramas as they over-glamorize, their romance and the love. And depending on which one you watch, and if you are a K-drama follower,
well,
you'll find
in rom-coms it's quite similar, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like K-drama is a bit more touch heavier in terms of
they pull your heartstrings.
Yeah. And they like to slow-mo the moment and they replay the slow action music.
Or they somehow magically find you at the right place at the right time and save you.
Yeah. Or it rains. It's got to rain at the most important time.
There's this meme, I think I tagged you on Facebook, was like the top 25 things that you will see in K-dramas or something. And it's like the rain, the rapid U-turns, or
rapid U-turns in the car.
Umbrella.
The main character of the guy is rich. The main character of the girl is poor, and they love each other for some reason.
But anyways, that's not the point. But yeah, I do agree that K-dramas, movies, they're not that realistic. But I think there are some aspects of it that are true. Like, not true, but like it would be nice to have some of those romance. Like, just again, the small gestures, or being able to, like, say I was out and I forgot my jacket and you brought over a jacket. Like, those kind of things are still quite nice and is a way of being romantic. But obviously not the expectations of you running to me when I'm in trouble and expecting you to be there, because that's logically may not even happen, because to be able to, for you to find me and call me and then know where I am specifically and save me and things like that, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a bit unrealistic. Yeah. Thoughtful, but unrealistic.
No, but I think just the smaller gestures that of things that happen in dramas and rom-coms, I think those can be realistic.
What, just the one where they're like running to you and knowing where you are, finding
No, the jacket.
The jacket thing?
Yeah, like say like it is cold and I forgot my jacket, and
That's why boys, lads, you keep a spare jumper in your car, right? Because I used to do that all the time.
Let me tell you something, guys. Ever since when we first dated, there was only been one occasion that you have ever bought a jacket out for me when it's cold outside.
Well, to be fair, I always keep a jumper, like a spare jumper in my car
No.
at all times.
And that is for you, not for me.
Wrong. Nah, wrong. I always keep a spare because I know that you get fucking cold.
No, actually, it's the other way around. I don't get cold.
Well, I get cold anyway, but you use
So
it
you
anyway.
wear the jumper.
But she steals all my jumpers, right?
No,
So
you're talking about like early years.
nah, brother, nah.
All right, we're not here to argue. Let's move on. But our thoughts. So, I just want to see early Sam, like young little high school Sam, or when you first dated. What would you do back then to show or be romantic to a girl back then?
Far out, dude. I would probably be more touchy, I guess. More touchy in the fact of being trying to like be close to you.
But is that something that you wanted to do, or is that something because you think that girls would like you to be more touchy, like hugging, hold hands? Why are you making it so awkward?
You're fucking snot just shot out everywhere, buddy. Fucking Jesus.
I'll wipe it on you. I'll
That's
jam it in your face.
disgusting, mate.
But wasn't there also times when you said back then you would do a lot for girls? Like there was one girl that lived across the other side of Brisbane and you drive her or something?
Yeah, so outside of being touchy and feely,
none of that.
I used to do a lot of acts of service where I would go above and beyond to go and get or give whatever the person I'm seeing.
Didn't you like drive all the way to the other side to give someone dinner? You
Yeah.
bought her food or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, acts of service. So I drove pretty much the other side of town just to buy this person Macca's, and this woman did not appreciate it. She knows who she is.
The chicken nuggets just weren't good enough, right?
Yeah, man, fucking.
You didn't choose the
Man,
right
it wasn't even
meal.
nuggets. It was fucking a Happy Meal, dude.
Oh.
You had a fucking toy with that, man.
You didn't make her happy.
Fucking, she didn't make me happy. Fucking hell.
What would I do back then? I don't really have much to say because I wasn't ever really much in a relationship, so I didn't have any opportunities to be romantic. But I think in terms of what I thought romance is definitely K-dramas and dramas, because I thought just that person being there when you need them, which I think it's still true, like that someone that being there when you're down or when you need someone, that's quite romantic to me, is because they're taking out time from their day to be with you and listen to you. So things like that, or spending time with you just because they want to. Like those are my thoughts of being romantic. Obviously, K-dramas blow that out of proportion because they're with each other 24/7.
Yeah, so then do you think your perception of that has changed a lot?
What I think about it is just there's some realism to like what I like as being romantic is still the same, but there's still some realistic aspects to it. Like for example, again, that spending time with each other, like you don't have to be with me all the time, but spending time together as quality time, that's an aspect of being romantic. Or just thinking of me buying something because you were out and you saw a cake that you know that I really like and you bought it back home for me. Like those gestures are still the same. It's just that I don't expect it. Like I'm not like, you need to buy me this or you need to do this for me. It's just like if you did it, it's a nice thing. You get what I mean? So it's just the perception is a bit different, but the actions of the romance is still the same.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think romance definitely is different from the earlier days, because I think in the earlier days, my perception was you had to be touchy-feely. You've got to really go above and beyond to provide something. Like the acts of service is essentially what I used to do a lot, but I kind of still do that now to some degree. But I feel like with me now, it's more like pulling it back.
Yeah, like have your own boundary.
Yeah, have your own boundaries, but it's more like coming to reality as, okay, well, you can only do so much of this to be appreciated to some regard.
I appreciate you every day.
No, you don't. Fucking lies.
Yeah. So I don't know. In a nutshell, I think in terms of what I think is romantic is still the same, but it's just, yeah, again, knowing that other people have boundaries, not to push the line, and also you can't expect this to happen every single time. I think knowing that is what's changed. And also being with you for 11 years, I think what we do for each other has also evolved over time.
Of
Like
course.
obviously in your honeymoon phase, yeah, again, the touchy feely, like just being with each other all the time. And then it revolves over time now that we have a house. It's more of that acts of service where one day you would be the one that's doing the washing so that I don't need to do it, or like you cleaning the dishes because I've been cooking or something like that. And it's just working. I think it's less of romanticizing it. Like it's still romantic if you think about it, but it's not glamorized in like the Hollywood way or glamorized in the K-drama way.
Yeah.
It's just that now you guys have like this pattern, you have this way of working, and you understand when one person's maybe working a bit too much, or and you need to step in and just to help out, or this person is not going to be around for these few days and you can do something to help out. It's just understanding each other in that way.
Of course. And it is true because when you put it from our perspective, our expectations change as well. And as we are getting older and how we see things as well from that perspective.
Yeah, and I have a really recent example that I think of what romance has changed between us is I don't have anything in terms of expectations of gifts. Like we haven't bought anything for each other for a good, would you say 5, 6 years? We don't buy gifts anymore. We just spend time with each other, go out.
I think the most recent gift, just thinking back, I think we just buy each other food and that's really it.
Yeah, but in terms of gifts, we haven't bought each other anything specifically,
Yeah.
like saying, hey, let's buy each other gifts for a long time, like such a long time. And I don't usually like flowers, but I think it's just to change it up. And I do, now that we don't really need anything from each other apart from quality time and just spending time with each other, that's all we need. But I have recently gotten into flowers, and I think that's just like a nice gesture. If like when you buy me flowers, it's just something different. So that's an example of how it can change and evolve over time. I never really thought of gifts or anything as much of romance, but now I'm starting to evolve a little bit where every now and then, maybe special occasions when
can
there is,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
I can appreciate flowers.
Yep.
That's one example.
Yeah. No, I can understand in terms of like flowers and whatnot. Like even for me, man, like because I used to work in a florist shop with mum. Just working with mum in the florist and doing bouquets and talking to so many random people who came in to buy things. It was just so glamorized that the guys had to do all this stuff. Which, like, yeah, sure, it's appreciated in the fact that guys do this stuff and we celebrate, Valentine's Day and whatnot. But you spend so much money on flowers, and flowers are not cheap, awfully not cheap. But I can understand why people appreciate them because it's a beautiful gesture.
Again, like you said, like it's a nice gesture. I think we've come to this point where we've got what we want. So it's just buying the little things, whether it's a card or it's flowers or it's like your favorite cake. It's just those small little indicators that you thought of me
Yeah,
at that time. Like you don't need to buy me something that's on my wish list, or you don't need to take me to France or something to treat me. It's just something small.
yeah. The small things matter, man.
Yeah, it really does. And it's always been like that for me. It's always the small things that matter. That's why I think even if like you draw on the cards, like our anniversaries and birthday cards, and those are actually my favorite things. It doesn't mean anything to anyone else. It doesn't mean anything to you because you're like, this is shit. This is like crap drawing, but I love it. It's like the best thing ever because that came from you and your time.
I'm a fucking artiste. Artiste?
Yeah, you could be selling them for $100,000.
That's it, man.
At the next art exhibition. But the biggest question: do you think I'm romantic?
I think, well, in the way I see things, yeah, I think you are. I know I'm definitely not.
Good. I didn't want to ask you that because you are not romantic. But I think in ways there are some small things that you do in terms of you are very heavy on acts of service that I can see that you try to do to help out. And yeah, like I would say we don't have arguments a lot. We don't have disagreements a lot. But a lot of things that we have disagreements on is just when you do something where you are showing me that you're thinking about me. It's kind of going back to what I was saying. It's not things that I really notice or I just don't notice because it's not something that's in the front of mind for me. Like, I'm just using the toilet, for example. I'm not saying it actually is. But, like, whether or not the toilet is clean or not, I don't really care. But say you came to me and it's like, oh, I cleaned the toilet today. like you would have, like you may have thought that that's helping me out. You're showing me that you're doing acts of service to help me out. But really, I'm like, okay, thanks. Like I appreciate it, but it's not like that was you showing me that you were
Because
trying to be
cleaning
romantic.
is not your focus. It's not your primary focus.
No, but do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I
Like
get it.
if you're not thinking and doing something where it's a preference for the other person, it may be overlooked because they never thought of it as something. Like for example, flowers. If you bought someone flowers and they didn't like flowers in the first place, they may not find that romantic because they're like, why are you buying me flowers? Or like,
Yeah.
oh, this is just gonna
Yeah.
die anyway. So it's just that same concept. And I think this is the disagreements that we have had in the past. Is just that when you mention that you've done something for me and then you say that I don't know this is because of that. Because it's doing things where for me it wasn't really high up there where I would notice that you've done something. So that in my eyes, I'm like, you haven't done anything romantic, but in your eyes, you have.
I'm built different. So
Everyone is. But
yeah.
in the context of romance, I'm like, in my eyes, I'm like, okay, you haven't recently, sat down and no, you haven't recently sat down and talked to me, have a proper conversation. And then you're like, but I've done this, this, and this. But in my eyes, I'm like, that's not what I find romantic. And vice versa, like the same thing. I might clean up something for you, but then you're like, oh, but that's just part of cleaning the house.
Yes, I get it.
So yeah, like that's the biggest disagreements that we've had. So we've actually had many people ask about if we've ever had disagreements. That's one of them.
Well, I mean, we've had heaps, and it's never. I think the perception of disagreements people think is arguments, where you're kind of like yelling at each other, and but I don't know. I never have arguments in that way,
Yeah.
and I don't believe it should be like that because if you have a disagreement, just talk to each other like you're just fucking adults. You just talk it out.
But I'm just saying that's for the people that have been asking us if we ever have a lot of disagreements or if we've had arguments. That's just one of them that are quite common in terms of having disagreements, but it's never to the level where we're like yelling at each other. It's just that I haven't noticed that you've done this, but you say that you've done this, and then it just becomes like a back and forth tennis play, tennis Wii. So, after all of this, if you were to plan a romantic day, not an ideal date, because I think that's different. If you were to say you had one free day, you wanted to be a bit more romantic, what would that be like?
I would probably do a combination of words of affirmation as well as.
So you just wake up, I love you.
Pretty much. No, I think it's got to be a combination of a few things: quality time, words of affirmation, and then words, actions of service or words of service or whatever it is.
You have to paint this day for me.
Yeah, so I'll wake up, be like, hello, I love you. And then and then I'll either make you a coffee because I know you're a coffee connoisseur.
Not really.
Yes, you are.
You've got it wrong already. I don't drink coffee straight when I wake up.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Well, regardless, you're still going to have a coffee.
Nah, I don't want it.
You're going to have a coffee. Either that or I get some food or I make some food, brunch of some sort. That's what I'd organize. If it's a weekday, then it's a day to fucking switch off. So it's either we spend some quality time fucking hanging out, fucking looking at some plants at Bunnings. I know how excited this person gets every time we go to fucking Bunnings. Ends up spending an hour or so there just looking at plants.
Like you can talk you at the tool side for an hour.
No. What would your ideal fucking romance date would be?
It's not a date.
I said day.
It's different. I would let you sleep in because I know that you hate being disturbed when I get up because I'm always supposed to get up. And sometimes I would come and just be like, let's go out and get food or something. But because I'm trying to be romantic, I know you love your sleep. I'll let you sleep in. Let you naturally wake up with your natural body clock, which is probably 10:30.
Wrong.
When I'm starving and being like, oh my God. So I'll do that. I'll probably order some Uber or something where food's ready when you get up so that we can eat together. Quality time. See how thoughtful I am?
It's all for yourself, mate. You're hungry.
No. Quality time together with some coffee as well. Not made by me, made by the baristas from whatever Uber we get. And then go help you pick some weeds because I know how you love to keep the house clean. Pick some weeds, clean the house together, and have some fun. Turn on some beats and clean. Does that sound good?
Sounds okay.
Is that romantic?
No, not really.
Then what would you add to that then? Or what would you change
I
to
wouldn't
be
say.
romantic in your eyes?
Well, I wouldn't say fucking cleaning because cleaning is tiring. You know what I'm saying? So picking weeds. If you guys know what fucking picking weeds are, it can be quite strenuous on your fingers and your lower back when you're squatting trying to rip out some weeds from the ground. So I think I would replace that and just fucking hang out. Whether we go out, go for a walk, you know, around the suburb or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
So if I took
Or-
you out for a walk, you're like, that's romantic.
Well, I wouldn't say it's romantic. I'd appreciate it.
So what would make you be like, damn, that was romantic?
See, I'm not a romantic person, so I don't know. Like, I'm a person that appreciates the moments. So I think doing those things, whether it's just chilling, walking, you know, ride a bike, ride some scoots, you know, we'll fucking buy one of those scooters and we'll just scooting around.
Scoot, scoot.
That'd be pretty cool.
Scooter, are you ready?
What the fuck?
That song. What's it called again?
The Logical Song
Yeah.
by Scooter.
Anyways, so that is our ideal romantic day. But let's also see what the internet says because people always Google this, and there are actually top 10 romantic things you can do for your husband, and then there's top 10 romantic things you can do for your wife. And then we'll
Jeez.
exchange and discuss if it's something that we'll do we agree with it. So, shall we start with the
Yeah.
husband?
What else? Let's go.
So, what the internet says about top 10 things to do for your husband to be romantic. Stick a post-it love note in his wallet.
The fuck?
But if I did that, would you be like, oh, that was kind of cute?
I'd be like, what the fuck is this? But I'd be like, oh, that's nice.
But would you actually think it's kind of cute?
Yeah, I guess so.
So that's a tick. Look him in the eye.
No. Sorry. You always look at me right.
Why are you backing away already? And give him a sincere compliment.
If you did, then I'd be like, oh, that was a bit random.
No, but I'm saying if I looked you in the eye and gave you a sincere compliment, like actually straight from the bottom, would you actually feel like, oh, that was really nice?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
Okay, 2 out of 2. Surprise him with his favorite meal or favorite dessert.
Favorite meal, favorite dessert?
Yeah, so if I surprise you with your favorite bento for dinner,
No, I don't think so.
so you won't find it nice?
I wouldn't find it romantic, but I would
guess so.
find it's nice. I'd be like, oh, cool, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I guess because we always do that anyway.
Yeah.
Sneak him a kiss before he leaves for work.
No, because we always do that anyway.
Yeah, that is true. Write him a love letter.
No, thank you.
Why not? Don't you want to hear from my heart?
You always hear from your heart. So, no.
Why not? Send him a flirty text.
What kind of flirty text?
Just says flirty text.
Oh. I'll be like,
It
what
says
the?
a few emoji kisses or hearts can go a long way. So I'll be like, hey, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I'll be like,
The fuck?
pretty much. What the fuck?
Okay, so that's a no. Buy him a thoughtful gift.
See, I don't know. Depends on what it is. But I mean, a gift is a gift. So yeah, I'd appreciate it, but I wouldn't think it's, oh, you're being really romantic to me.
So that's a no. Ask him on a lunch date or meet you at home for lunch. I don't know how this is a romantic gesture.
Well, I can see some people like appreciate
Actually,
that.
no, I think, say, take us back to when we actually worked in the same area, same, what's it called, city, suburb.
Yeah. If we
I
worked
think
in a,
that would be nice.
Yeah.
Like if we actually were able to make the time to go out for lunch, I think that would be nice. Would you?
Yeah, I mean, we used to.
Plan a date night doing something he'd love.
What would that be?
You know, whatever you love, and I cleared my schedule, planned a date night to do something that you really enjoy.
I'm just trying to think what I would enjoy.
Go to bento.
I would be like, oh, cool, but I don't know if I would feel like it's like that romantic attachment to it.
Mm. Wear pretty lingerie when he least expects. That's number 10.
It has Lee there too.
Sealed. Yeah, what the hell? I didn't write this. Sealed the deal. Would you find that romantic?
No, I'd be like, I think I'd probably be more stumped. I'd be like, what the? I think I'd be kind of like, what is going on? Rather than actually going, oh.
Yeah, it's very out of the blue. But anyways, that is the top 10. I think there was only 1, 2,
There's like maybe 5, 6.
3, 4. 4 out of 10. So I guess they weren't talking to the right target audience to this guy over here. All right, let's go to 10 things you would do for the wife to show romantic gestures, according to the internet.
So the first one is, damn pop-ups, bring her favorite drink.
Yeah. Instant. I
can see your eyes light up and fucking quokka, mate.
Matcha, hojicha, pearl milk tea, coffee.
Everything. Anything that's a drink, man. Next one is make a list of 100 things you love about her.
Yeah, I think that would be romantic, but I know you would never do that. Because I can see you struggling. Like,
100 things is a lot of things, dude.
Hey, I did that for you. Remember the little bottle with the notes, the colored little notes in there? That's 100 notes.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think I ever.
Because it's in my room. That's why.
No, you end up keeping it.
No.
It was that little test tube, right? With the little.
So I've done it for you. So are you ever gonna follow through with the same gesture, or
Well,
still waiting?
We'll see.
You know that skeleton meme? I've been waiting. Me waiting for my 100 notes.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So the next one is cook for you.
I don't know if that's romantic though. Like, I know it's a nice gesture, but yeah, like you said, it doesn't attach to being romantic. And I think if you were to cook for me, we end up cooking together. So it's just like a nice thing to do together.
Yeah, so it's not romantic, right?
Nah.
Okay, so no.
Nah.
Do chores for you.
That's again something that I don't find romantic.
Okay.
Like, I appreciate it and I like that you're doing it for me, but I wouldn't be like, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah. That's
you're not gonna get turned on from that shit.
No.
So no. Okay, cool. No, boys don't do that. If you're ladies,
yeah. This is just between us. Like,
I know. All right. So next one. Tell her how you feel about her.
Yeah, I think you need to do more of that actually.
And you're saying that would make you that, you know.
Why do you have to give me those eyes? No, I think it is romantic because it's rare to come from you. And because it's rare, it's nice to have you say nice things. Was it say nice things?
No, just tell her how you feel about her.
Yeah, I think it's good because I can hear how you feel. Because there's a lot of times where either
you make my stomach ache. My stomach is aching because of.
The hell are you talking about? No, but like, for example, there are times where you either like think I'm cute or you actually appreciate my presence or whatever it is. You don't actually voice it, so I never know. And I think if you actually voice that a bit more, I actually would feel that as part of being romantic.
Okay. All right, let's keep moving. Buy her favorite dessert? I think you would.
If you bought it without, like, say it's a surprise or like you just felt like doing it as a nice gesture, then yeah.
Okay. Get her flowers, obviously we know.
Recently, yeah.
Ask her about her day.
Yeah, because that means you actually care about what happened.
Okay. Buy her a gift card to her favorite store.
I don't shop that much, so not really.
Frame a picture of the two of you.
I don't think, because we already have some, I would say no. But because you kept it up, like from when you had it till now, then I think that's romantic. But I don't think you need a new one, like another one.
Surprise her with concert tickets to her favorite singer or band. So if I came home with gym tickets.
It will be cool and I'd be excited, but I don't know if that's romantic though. I think for me, the basis is how much effort or how much thought you've put into this. So say that I couldn't get these tickets at all, like that Taylor Swift situation where no one could get tickets. and you spend your whole entire day and night
Trying to get it.
waiting and that wait list and you got the tickets, then I'm like, damn, that's romantic. But if it's just like a ticket that you can just buy and we know that usually we're gonna go to things together anyway, then it's just like it's a nice thing to do together, but it's not romantic. Does that make sense?
So then what's the difference between appreciating as opposed to romantic?
I think there's just things you can be grateful for, grateful and appreciate. And then there's romance where it's like just knowing that you took your time in the day to do something. That's in my eyes. It may not be the same for other people. In my eyes, that's what romantic is.
Take her for a weekend road trip.
Yeah.
And then last one, help her with her bucket list. So I guess if you got something that you wanted to really achieve and I was like, I'm going to fucking help you get that shit.
I think, again, that's just something that I would appreciate and be grateful for, but I wouldn't say that's romantic.
Okay.
Like, say, for example, wanting to travel with you together or wanting to do this fight. Like, you can help me, be supportive and all that. But it's not something where I'm like, oh, that was really romantic of you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, out of the 10, technically 5. Half of them you agreed to and the other half you didn't agree to.
Yeah. So I think it just goes to show from that, though, is that it's different for everyone. Like,
Of
although
course.
it may work, and maybe it might work at the start of a relationship, or it just depends on what stage in the relationship you are as well. So I think it just goes to show it's different for everyone. And I'm sure that there are many people who actually appreciate those things.
Of course. It's relative to you and your own individual expectations. Yeah.
One odd question I wanted to throw in is, can you be romantic with friends?
I don't think romantic, in my eyes, can be related to friends because friendships, you can be thoughtful and you can gift, like you can provide words of affirmation or even just actions of service or whatever the word is. But I don't think you can relate the romanticizing side of things to your friend.
I kind of feel like you can, but I'm only thinking it from a girl to girl's perspective. Like, say you're hanging out with your girlfriends. I feel like you can still be romantic. Like, you just glamorize your day together or glamorize an activity that you're doing together.
But I don't think that romantic is the right word, though.
Why not?
Because romantic is normally related to or has a correlation to your actual.
Well, how I see romantic is just showing your intentions in terms of your love for someone.
But that's what I'm saying then.
But your love doesn't have to stop at being your partner, right? You can show your love for friends too.
Yes, but that's the word, that's a different definition then. You wouldn't say my love for someone is the same as I'm romantic towards someone. So being romantic towards your partner is your actual true relationship, as in your love relationship, as opposed to showing your friendships or your friends love. You wouldn't say, I'm going to be romantic to you tonight, my friend.
No, obviously there's different ways. Like, again, there's different ways of being romantic. So I think with
Yeah.
friends, if you wanted to do more that physical touching kind of thing, it's
To your
just
friends?
hugging your friend, like
Oh,
showing
like-
them that you care for them, or
Yeah, I know where you're going
I'm
at.
not saying like doing the
No,
dirty.
but I'm saying to use the definition romantic towards friendship, I think that's probably the wrong word. You can show your love and appreciation and gratitude towards like your friendship, sure, but romanticizing and using the word romantic should be your actual lover relationship, like between
but then
me and
you
you.
can still make them feel special.
That's gratitude. That's you appreciating the person. That's how I see it anyway. I would never, like with my friends, I wouldn't be like, bro, I'm fucking romantic with
I'm
you at
gonna
home.
buy you a cake.
Yeah,
and-
I'm gonna fucking,
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I think it can kind of intertwine or fuse between girls and girlfriends. But I think for guys, I definitely can see how they would steer away from it because they're like, bro, that's disgusting.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying with girls, I feel like you can.
Well, yeah, I think girls is maybe you can get away with it, but I'm sure there's girls out there who'll be like, whoa, hold up, girl.
Like, I'm not
Relax.
talking about like doing anything
Yeah, I
where
don't-
you would share one-to-one experience of what you would do with a partner.
Yeah.
But still, there are things where you can take them out for like a nice gesture because you know that they've been working a lot or something like that. Or again buying that concert ticket because they couldn't get it, and
But
you were taking your time to go buy them that ticket, things like that.
But that's like showing your appreciation for the person.
It's still romantic.
I don't know. Anyway, we kind of like getting a little bit too long in this conversation, but I think overall romance is subjective, and I think it's relative to your own individuality and what you define and expect as romance, or what you see it as.
Yeah, and I think it just comes down to talking to each other, like your partner, and just having understanding of what you both like individually, and having an understanding of that, and just being thoughtful, showing some intentions between that, and having an understanding of what each other like.
Yeah.
And to help us with our debate, can you be romantic with friends? Let us know in our DMs or in our comments when we post on Instagram.
Likewise, thank you again, guys, for joining us in this fabulous episode of Romance.
Yeah, and you can be romantic with friends.
No.
That's it. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Anyways, peace.